all have our frustrations when it comes to football, and one thing that frustrates me is when the fan base have an opinion and it differs to the opinion of the manager, and I believe the fan base get it right, and I think that was the case at Turf Moor on Saturday afternoon. I feel David Moyes got the big call wrong and the West Ham fan base got it right. Hopefully I can explain it well enough so you understand what I'm trying to say, and then we'll get on to discussing why I think Mohammed Kudus is a problem for Mubama. Now, I see football managers, experts in football. Now, I don't think there's anything obscene with that shout, and there's going to be a few sarcastic comments. Moyes, an expert in football, leave it out. I get it. I can see them already. I can hear them and read them already. Yep. But I see football managers as experts in football because that's their job. Essentially, their job is to be an expert in football. Not the only experts, but certainly some of them. And I think football fans are football fans. Two completely different things. And when it comes to making the calls on decisions that the fan base disagree with when it comes to the manager, I expect the manager to get the majority of them right because that's their job. And the decisions and the calls I'm talking about aren't the close ones where they can't really win. So if I was to say to you right now, would you like to see Emerson start at left back against TSC in Serbia? 50% of you might say, yes, start Emerson, go with our strongest 11. We need to get the win, hopefully secure top spot, and we move on to Crystal Palace. The other half of you might say, no, don't start him. Rest him for the game against Palace on Sunday. Start someone else, whether that's Creswell, Johnson, Kerr, Aguirre, someone else. Do not start Emerson. Those ones I don't mind because Moyes can't really get it right / wrong. He's guaranteed to keep 50% of the fan base happy and upset 50% of the fan base. And I don't think it's that big a deal, whatever he does. There's some, if someone's away out just typing up, having a rant at me as to why I don't want Emerson starting on Thursday, just leave it out. That's not my point, right? That's not my point. My point is there'll be a lot of the manager has a lot of calls to make. But when it comes to those ones, I'm not referring to those. The ones I'm referring to are when 90% of the fan base have the same opinion, because I will always maintain the managers are the expert in football, but when 90% of the fan base want the same thing, there's something to be said for that. You cannot ignore that. And just for me to clarify, when I say 90% of the fan base, I'm referring to the Hammers Chat subscribers that leave comments. That's it. I can't speak for every West Ham fan. I'm not trying to speak for the entire fan base. All I'm going by is those who comment on our videos. So in the build up to the Burnley game, the people that were leaving the comments, whether it be the Burnley preview, the opposition preview, our David Moyes predicted 11, whatever, and you were leaving your comments underneath that video, I feel 90% of our Hammers Chat subscribers did not want Danny Ings to start on Saturday afternoon, and I feel Moyes got it wrong, and the Hammers Chat subscribers got it right. And that's something that frustrates me a lot. And it's not just applicable to West Ham. This is applicable to any team. The difference is I don't know what 90% of Newcastle fans want ahead of their games. I don't read enough things from Newcastle United fans to say, hey, Eddie Howe, I think you should be starting Alexander Isak over Callum Wilson when both are fully fit. I don't know. I don't read it. So when it comes to West Ham, bracket, subscribers of Hammers Chat, bracket, I read those comments. And I think the fan base got it right and David Moyes got it wrong. And that frustrated me a lot on Saturday. Because when the lineup came out and it was Ings up front and Craig said to me, Ings is starting, there was no anger from me. I wasn't angry. I used to get angry. Ings would start, what's he doing? That's gone. I'm now just deflated. I'm defeated. Right, okay. Because we know what's going to occur. And what happened in that 62 minutes prior to Danny Ings being substituted off was exactly what I assume 90% of the fans, bracket, subscribers of Hammers Chat, bracket, was expecting to see. I think it's maybe fair to say that the away fans thought that as well, hence they were singing for Mubama for a large period of the game before he came on. Well, while they were singing for Mubama, they were perhaps wanting Danny Ings substituted off. That's an assumption, because I think sub off Danny Ings probably doesn't have the same ring to it as a chant. But I feel the fan base got it right, and it was an obvious one. Frustrates me. One of my frustrations when it comes to football. Anyway, before we discuss Kudus, Mubama and a few more other West Ham players, if you're new around here, please do subscribe. Let's see if we can get to 35,000 subscribers before Christmas. It takes 2 seconds and it's completely free, so get subscribing and get commenting, and you can be part of the 90% of the fan base bracket, subscribers of Hammers Chat bracket. Clarification is important these days. Anyway, right, Kudus, why is he a problem for Mubama? I mean, if I thought that was difficult to explain, this is just getting trickier. Now, this is based on you agreeing, I say you, I mean you, yes, you, whoever you are, you. This is based on you agreeing that Alvarez, Soucek and Ward-Prowse won't get dropped by David Moyes. If you think that they will, then probably skip this bit because you can probably answer what I'm going to say here. But on the assumption that you would agree that Moyes will not drop any of that midfield three are here to stay, then I think Kudus is probably in the way of Mubama. I hope, I pray Mubama is now ahead of Danny Ings in the pecking order. I absolutely pray. Did Mubama score? Officially, no. But the movement to the front post for Kudus crossed it was fantastic. It forces O'Shea into doing something, following Mubama, stretching his legs out, and then it ends up in the back of the net. You don't have to score in order to impact the game, and Mubama certainly did that. I just pray now Mubama is ahead of Danny Ings in the pecking order, and he bloody better be. Now, he's got two more players ahead of him. For that striker role, he's got Jared Bowen and Mikel Antonio. They're still ahead of him in the pecking order, and you know what? Rightfully so. Okay, I'm not saying Mubama should be first choice striker every single week, but he's got a couple of weeks. Mubama's got about 2 weeks before Mikel Antonio returns. So if Jared Bowen's available, he's probably the second choice striker, and should Jared Bowen not be available, hopefully he's the person that starts up front. Regardless of whether Bowen's back on Thursday or not, I'd like to see Mubama given a go up there, because opportunities to play him are going to be few and far between. He's still got a long way to go. I hope that Saturday can be the start of a new era for Mubama at West Ham, if you like, which results in more game time and him signing a contract at West Ham United. Whether that happens or not, we have to wait and see. But we've heard the reports, we've heard the rumours coming out that part of the reason Mubama won't sign a contract at West Ham is because of game time. And I believe it. I'm inclined to believe it. The ugly side of the contract negotiation came out as well at the end of last week, with Sean Whetstone tweeting that Mubama's been offered a 5-figure sum of money. I mean, what's that? It could be 10,000, it could be 99,000 a week. I mean, there's a big difference. But also that he's been given, automatic pay increases for every Premier League start. Well, why would he sign that contract? What's the point in that? If he ain't getting any starts, why would you sign something that relies on that? It just doesn't make sense at all. That'd be like me getting a salary and say, I tell you what, Gio, every time you do a heaving test and get 100%, we'll increase your pay. It's never happening. So why would I take it? It'd be a stupid thing for me to do. For clarity is important, aware hearing is, right? For those that watched Hammers Chat long enough, hopefully you found that funny. I thought it was a good little joke. Anyway, Kudus problem for Mubama. I'm over halfway into the video. I haven't even started yet, have I? So I think Mubama's maybe going up the pecking order in Danny Ings. And the reason I think Kudus has become a problem for Mubama is because where does he go? If you start Mubama, Bowen has to move. Right, so everybody's fully fit except Mikel Antonio. Mikel Antonio's broken because I include him. People get picky. You've decided Mubama's going to start. You want to start Mubama, a striker, fine. Everyone else is fit. Well, Jared Bowen's got to go on the right, hasn't he? So Bowen goes out on the right hand side. Paquet on the left. That midfield three are undroppable in my opinion. Moyes won't drop them, so they stay in there. Well, where does Kudus go? You can't really go anywhere. Now there is an argument. I know people say, we'll take Soucek out and put Kudus on. I'll get on to Soucek. Do you believe Moyes would do that? Because I certainly don't. I think that midfield three are here to stay. And we're talking Cup Final 11 here for clarity. We're not talking about TSC on Thursday. He may drop one of those three. Like I always say, there's a difference between being rested and being dropped. Complete difference. He may rest one or two of them on Thursday night, and I hope he does. But against Crystal Palace on Sunday, say Bowen is back, Mubama ain't starting. And I'll tell you why Mubama isn't starting against Palace if Bowen's back. It's because you can't drop Kudus. You can't drop, he won't drop Paqueta. And I don't want Paqueta dropped. And like I said, he won't drop the three. So Bowen has to go back out onto the right to accommodate him. So if you want to start Mubama, Bowen has to go out on the right. And then there's nowhere for Kudus. So working backwards, Kudus can't be dropped, so he's going to stay in the right and Bowen's going to be up front. So I actually think Kudus is going to be the one. Mubama's leapfrog Danny Ings. Antonio's out. Here we go. Minutes for the lad. Well, actually, I think you've got a problem now, and that's because Kudus won't be dropped. He's 2 assists on Saturday. He's been fantastic. for 5 minutes. I think he was poor up until then, truth be told. I think he's had a couple of quiet games as well, Kudus. He's doing all right, though. He's 23 years old, new league, he's learning everything. And I think long-term, Kudus' best position at West Ham will be on that right-hand side. People disagree with me, that's fine, we'll wait and see. We don't have enough evidence yet. I would suggest he's doing okay on the right. Maybe he could do better in the middle. I know a lot of people would say, well, the solution would be to put Kudus in the middle and Bowen on the right, Mubama up front and drop one of the centre midfielders. I don't disagree. I would like to see that in some games. But I just don't see David Moyes doing it at all. I don't see that midfield three getting dropped. And this is why. Soucek proved on Saturday, and not just Saturday against Nottingham Forest as well, because let's be honest, Soucek wasn't good. In the first 90 minutes of that game against Burnley, Soucek was not good. But he stayed on the pitch and got the winner. Against Nottingham Forest, he was better than he was against Burnley, but he wasn't good enough in the sense that his open play outside the 18-yarder was excellent or anything. He scored the winner. Soucek now has to stay on the pitch because he's our second biggest goal threat behind Jarrod Bowen. Soucek this season, he's much better than last season, but he's brought the goal threat back. But Soucek in his first full season, when he got 10 goals, him and Rice playing in midfield, Soucek, in that season, Soucek wasn't good in possession. It's not like he's got crap at it. He's just never been good at, creativity or anything like that in open play. He was a good midfielder in that season because he scored 10 goals in Premier League, and he's back on track to do that again this season. But now he's scoring. He's almost become undroppable. And when I say undroppable, he's almost become unsubbable. And Saturday afternoon proved it, because he wasn't good. Now, neither was James Ward-Prowse. It wasn't only him. For context, James Ward-Prowse didn't play well. Alvarez was horrific and was rightfully subbed off. But Soucek wasn't playing well in open play. But he pops up with a winner and goes and does his helicopter celebration thing. But because of the form he's shown, because of the threat Soucek shows at set pieces and crosses, he probably can't really be subbed off by David Moyes, because some games we will rely on crosses or set pieces. We rely on someone scoring an individual goal than a good bit of team play, a good bit of counter-attacking play. Because on Saturday, 2 goals from crosses, Nottingham Forest, 2 goals from set pieces. And if you are going to rely on crosses and set pieces, who's the one player you want on that pitch? And that's Tomas Soucek. Now, we know Ward-Prowse will be subbed off by David Moyes. We've seen it. Because we've got other players that can take set pieces. Maybe not so much on Saturday afternoon. But Jarrod Bowen's good at set pieces. Bowen hasn't got rubbish at taking them. It's just that we've got someone even better than Bowen at taking them. And we've seen Bowen have an assist from a corner already this season as well. And that's with him taking hardly any, because Ward-Prowse is here. So Ward-Prowse is more likely to be subbed off than Tomas Soucek when we need a goal, in my opinion. I would argue that he's possibly more likely to remain on the pitch when we're defending a lead, because of what he can do defensively, which James Ward-Prowse can't do. So I think Soucek's almost made himself unsubbable now for David Moyes because of the threat he carries from set pieces and crosses. And it's good for Tomas Soucek, but I think it might actually become a bit of a problem eventually, if it hasn't done so already, in the sense that I don't want to call him a passenger, because that's harsh. Because like I said, I think there's been a big improvement in Soucek this season compared to last. I'm not just talking about his goals. But I always sum David Moyes up, which is when he's getting results, I say you have to stomach it. You don't. You can do what you want. You don't have to stomach it. I'm talking for myself. This is what do you remember the numbskulls in the Beano? Do you remember them? My numbskull says to me, and if you don't know, the numbskulls were the little people that lived inside the person. So yeah, like they were in the brain. They did stuff. Anyway, the numbskulls in me says to me, first of all, your hearing ain't working very well. That guy's sleeping. The guy in charge of your that guy in charge of your hearing is on furlough. Anyway, right, come on, Gio, be serious. So the voice inside my head, no better, is it? My consciousness, my subconsciousness says to me, stomach it. If you're winning games, if your West Ham are winning games with David Moyes, you're just going to have to stomach it because it's justified. His his way of playing is justified by results, and it needs to be. But as soon as the results stop, that's when I have an issue, because the entertainment isn't there to subsidise from the fact that the results aren't good. So when the results are there, I can put up with it. But when the results stop, that's when I have an issue, because the entertainment factor isn't there to make up for the lack of results. That's how I summarise David Moyes. Well, actually, Tomas Soucek's becoming a bit of a similar summary for different reasons, which is, while Tomas Soucek is scoring goals, we can put up with him in the starting 11. We can put up with him playing 90 minutes. But when he stops scoring goals, which he will, because at the start of the season we said James Ward-Prowse assists, that's unsustainable. Jarrod Bowen's goal scoring record is unsustainable for the rest of the season. I mean, it might not be, but that would put him on 24 Premier League goals for the season, which is madness. Well, Tomas Soucek, his goal scoring record at the minute can't go on forever this season. It might do, I might be proven wrong, but I feel quite confident sitting here saying it won't do. In the games that he doesn't score, he's a big problem. But while he's scoring goals, it sort of justifies everything. You know, Moyes gets a win against Burnley. It justifies what David Moyes done, although I don't feel we deserved the win. Tomas Soucek scoring justifies the inclusion of Tomas Soucek, even though I don't think he played really well. But hopefully that makes sense. There you go. There's my biggest frustration. A couple of crap jokes and a little bit about Tomas Soucek at the end. I know I sound really grumpy, by the way. I'm delighted. We won. I've had a really good weekend. Went to Manchester on Friday night to see the K's at the Academy. It was fantastic. Incredible band. If you like your guitar music, search the K's. Heart on Your Sleeve is their newest single. The one that I would recommend you listen to. I don't know. Depends what you're into. Valley One maybe. But the K's are fantastic. Really good band. Saturday went up to Burnley. Had a good day. Although the football wasn't the best, I had a good day. We got the win. Another last minute winner. I complain about lack of entertainment. I mean, in theory, a last minute winner is the most entertaining thing you can get, right? To some extent. So we got the win. The league table's looking good. I'm looking forward to TSC on Thursday night. I'm looking forward to Crystal Palace on Sunday. Gonzo's going, so I can't go. So Gonzo's on video duty at the weekend. I'm on video duty next weekend. Hopefully getting to the Wolves game. Definitely going to the Man United game. So I'm looking forward to getting down for it. So yeah, anyway, there you go. There's my Monday mutterings. Done for you. Right, I'm going to shut up and disappear. I'm shutting up now. The numbskulls are saying wrap this one up. So if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it. Subscribe to Hammer's Chat. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.